Actually, we have a truck arriving today with some coffees that we've put a lot of effort into and we're really excited about. So let's check that out.
George, I don't know almost anything about the coffee business, but I'm guessing that's a truck full of brand new coffee.
Yeah, you're right. We're about to unload a truck full of green coffee today.
We?
No, not we, but this is an exciting moment for us because it represents the final stop of the journey of the coffee from the farm to our door.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So this coffee has come from all over the world, basically.
Yeah, I mean, on this truck we have coffees from Sumatra, Colombia, Panama, but the coffee that we're really most excited about right now is this coffee right here on the tail. It's coffee from Guatemala. It's from a group called Unapu.
I'm sorry?
Unapu. It's a group of coffee farmers in Guatemala outside of the Antigua region that we've been working with for a few years. They produce really good coffee.
So there has got to be an amazing story from the inside of those bags to coming to your cafe.
There is.
Ladies and gentlemen, on our flight on the way, we would like to officially welcome all our members to the air.
Mountain living. This is Wisconsin foodie going to the top of a volcanic mountain in Antigua, Guatemala. Aside from flying, definitely the highest feet above sea level I've ever been. I stopped looking down about 5 minutes ago and just forward. George from Altera has taken me to the side of this mountain, just a few miles away from one of the volcanoes from which this coffee derives its name, Unapu. Acre after acre of this coffee on this farm is picked by hand, as it is throughout all of Guatemala. It's been done that way since coffee was brought to Guatemala, and it's distinguished itself as one of the finest in the world. The coffee is named Unapu, but that was, if I understand, an indigenous name that the people named after the volcano?
The name Unapu is how the indigenous, original from this part of Guatemala, that's how they call it, Unapu. It means mountain of flowers. The Unapu coffee that we sell as Unapu, it's coffee that comes from small producers. And we work around 200 producers. And Bourbon, it comes from approximately 30 producers.
So this is like your upteenth coffee trip, like this. For me, it's still novel. But what excites you on this trip?
Well, it's exciting to see all the ripe cherry on these trees. One of my favorite pastimes is walking around the farm and just, snacking on the coffee cherry.
Can you imagine there was a time when buyers didn't even know the faces of their farmers, much less almost where their coffee came from? They just mixed it, roasted it, and boom, Maxwell House.
Yeah, I mean, that time wasn't too long ago, really.
Right.
And, but it's funny because I can't really imagine that anymore. It's hard for me to buy coffee without being able to make that connection at all. This is a good spot.
It's sublime. It's just sublime up here.
It's nice to get out here and see the environment where the coffee comes from, meet the producers, and be able to focus on one farmer for a longer period of time.
This brings you back to basics.
It does. Well, it's where it starts.
So now that we've come down off of the mountain, seen so much more of Guatemala, where have you taken me?
Well, we're at Beneficio Bella Vista right now. This is where all the farmers from Unapu deliver their ripe red cherries for processing.
This is sort of the last step before it gets put into bags and comes to the States.
That's right. Except, quite a few steps actually happen at this place. Bella Vista is the type of mill where they do all the processing all the way from the cherry to the finished sorted exportable product. So this is a one-stop shop for the farmers in Unapu. The cherry goes into a machine that pulls off the skin and some of the fruit, and then the seed that becomes a roasted bean eventually will go into a tank where airborne yeasts and other enzymes attack the pulp and break it down. And when that's done, then the coffee's rinsed and all that slurry is washed away, and we've got dried, what we call parchment coffee or pergamino. That needs to be dried on the patio or in the the drum dryer.
It's a lot bigger than the patios I have at home.
The coffee gets dehulled and sorted and all the defects get removed, and then finally it gets bagged up. So the kind of lot separation that happens here at Beneficio Bella Vista is really unique because typically when the coffees come in from the farmers and they process them, they just blend them all together. The kind of separation that they have here at this mill allows the coffee buyer, myself in this case, to become part of the process and to really have a hand in the creation of the individual lot that we buy for Altera. Just want to give you a little sneak peek of the coffee that's going to be destined for Altera. The red bags are the ones that they use for the 100% Bourbon coffee. So if you look over here, you can see quite a large stack of Unapu just sitting there waiting for us. I think we should probably taste these coffees and decide which ones to buy.
You lead the way.
All right, let's go. Here we are in Luis Pedro's cupping room. This is where we're going to do all the tasting of all the small lots from Unapu this week. Make our final decisions on what to buy.
So George, walk me through what's on this table.
We do have a bunch of samples here from various lots at Unapu. Each tray has one sample from one lot. So first thing we're going to do is smell the dry grounds. Then we'll pour water over them, wait 4 minutes, break through that crust that's on top, smell the aromatics that are coming off at that point. Let it cool down, and then we'll start tasting. There's so much anticipation leading up to cupping all the lots for the year. It's so exciting to find great coffees, but the process of discovery is the most fun. Cupping a table, 4 tables of 10 coffees is like getting to open 40 little gifts.
Nice. Let me give it a shot. So when you're tasting Unapu, what are the profiles that your instincts go to?
A really deep, intense cherry, kind of defining cocoa note. And then in the acidity, you're getting some more tropical, some more citrus, things like that. So we want a nice, vibrant, bright acidity, but we want the coffee to be balanced and have enough body and have some of the kind of that close chocolatey cocoa notes woven into the body. What we're trying to figure out today is which of these samples are we going to keep separate from the rest and offer as a single farmer, single pick, micro lot this year. So on this table we have our favorites from a day of cupping. So far we've cupped 36 coffees and we've selected a few from each table that we've liked the best.
Dueñas and sweet of beer. How many bags?
You never realize all of the steps in the qualifying and all of the designations that a single cup of coffee that you grab, maybe quickly walking to your car, goes through just to deliver all those great flavor notes. Previously I just sort of took for granted, like, this is good coffee.
I mean, I could think of probably 5 coffees on this table I think I'd like to bring home with me in my carry-on.
That is an enormous endorsement from somebody like you who's been, tasting coffees for a decade.
Right, I think we should go out and we have a lunch set up with some of the producers in town here.
Right on, a true Guatemalan meal.
Let's do it.
Here we're in San Miguel Dueñas, in the agency where we receive coffee from the region. George, que es Jorge, y comprador de Alterra. These are some of the best Bourbon coffee producers in Antigua that we know. Pretty exciting, finally all getting together in one place, the producer, the buyer, the miller, the importer, everyone who's involved and has enjoyed their wonderful coffee. Pretty exciting, and it's gonna be a good lunch.
I can't wait to eat.
I know.
I can't wait to eat.
I'm
It's going to be so good.
greatly.
It smells great. Chefs from fancy restaurants all over the world, with the craze in Central American and Mexican cooking, try to replicate this, and they never quite get it right. Yet here, with all this graciousness, it's perfect. It's a true honor to be breaking bread and sharing a meal with these gentlemen that grow this exceptional, exquisite Guatemalan coffee that travels through so many hands and so many steps and across so much distance to my cup one morning.
The Unapu coffee has become one of the favorite coffees. One of the most gratifying parts of what we do is when customers come in and they say, "Wow, you know, I really love the Unapu. You know, it's amazing. It tastes like this. It tastes like that." And you know, they get very excited about how the coffee tastes. We really love hearing that, and so I want to make sure to share that with everybody here today because we all have a hand in the process. And when those customers praise the coffee, only I get to hear it, and it really is. You know, these gentlemen deserve to hear that as well. So this is a fitting end to our journey. I mean, if I could take every coffee drinker to the origin of coffee and the place where it's grown and show them the whole process, that'd be a dream come true. So I'm glad to have you.
I'm glad that I ended up on like that side of the scale,
Yeah.
that I could